Alright, everybody, welcome to HGR for the second night in a row. The HGR series descends on Talladega for what should be a great night of racing, all in all. Few drivers still left to enter with 5 minutes to go. Right now, got about 14 hand on point. Justin Johnson makes his return. That does Michael Barksdale, Kevin Tempton, Carl Lingle. All join the field. Aubrey Thompson is even in the house tonight. So right now, some drivers beginning to roll on out here. We're going to look at the practice time right now. As it stands, Tucker McLennan with the fast time. James Ware in second, Justin Johnson third, Michael Barksdale fourth, Kevin Timpson fifth, Carl Lingle sixth, Sean Corbett, Quentin Stenbach seventh and eighth, Steven Scott Jr. and Ambrose Knievel round out the drivers who have made a lap so far. Danny Barnes is in the field tonight as well. Great to see the driver of the 17 returning to action tonight. Right now, a little bit of a four-car train down back straightaway going again. Trying to get as much press as they can. Trying to make allies here. Down the back straightaway. A little bit of contact for the 38 to 22. Richard Elliott posted the 11th quickest time. So he will get on the board. That so far that is 12 out of 14 drivers so far registered. Still waiting on a few more to join. Hopefully. You can't pull in somebody for a quick entry. Michael Barksdale, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
My buddy right now sent fourth quickest at the moment. How do you feel? We're switching from Gen 6s to Xfinity. How do you feel your chance of getting the job done tonight? And what are some distinct differences that you know of between the two cars?
Well, first, I feel good about the car. I've raced it plenty of times at this track, so I've got experience of how it feels at the start and how it feels at the finish. And if anything, I'm just working on keeping it in one piece till the end. And, these cars are Gen 6. I would say I like the Gen 6 better, but at the same time, I like anything with four wheels. So I'll drive it and race it and hope to win.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you. I'll put 30 back up so you can get ready for qualifying.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Right now, that was Michael Barksdale, fourth quickest at the moment. So right now, 13, 14, 15, 16 guys on point with a minute to go in practice. I think some of these drivers thinking, man, maybe it's a little bit too late to post a lap. "55 seconds, Tucker McLennan will be your fastest in practice. Can he take the pole and potentially go for qualifying? We'll have to see. Mark Mondale, Michael Wingo, all just joining in. Now probably about 17 or 18 car field. Of course, I want to thank everybody for taking the time out of Thursday night to tune in to watch some of the best that HGR has to offer. Take to the high banks of Daytona throughout your weekend tonight. Tomorrow, the Crow's Nest Series affiliate to the HGR Series will be taken to the high banks of Daytona tomorrow. All that will be live right here, open to any driver. So ain't no telling how big of a field we're going to have. Right now, qualifying set to get underway. You got 5 minutes to post 1 lap. So as it stands, Steven Scott Jr. should be the first one to post a qualifying lap, so long as nothing has not happened between now and the start. Followed by James Ware's just rolling out. It'll be the first two to post a time here. Kenneth McCullough Jr. on deck, as is the 98 of Michael Barksdale, the 00 of Tucker McLennan. A 22 of Quentin Stenbach as well. Had a great run going last night. One that had a very up and down night, but almost salvaged a nice finish out of it. Danny Barnes returning to action tonight on the Raging Idiot Racing Network. So right now we'll focus in on Steven Scott Jr. Right now, down the back straightaway. Really, it's just going to be key on how you really are able to cut the tri-oval. That's really where it's just going to boil down to, who can cut it just perfect enough to where they don't disqualify their lap or anything right now. So Steven Scott Jr. to the bottom and at the line. 54.086. We'll get James Ware right in the fist. Ware not cutting the apron. Strange. Perhaps he's trying to think about going for that second pit box. Only 2 thousandths off. McCullough goes top of the board, 54.06. 54.1 for Michael Barksdale. Quentin Stenbach trying to get drivers in. Michael Wingo just rolling out. Jason Branch at the line. 54.823. Aubrey Thompson on deck, looking to start his qualifying run. Tucker McLennan now cutting the apex. John Ward slides in the second quickest, and at the line, Tucker 8th quickest with the 54.126. Sean Corbett now trying to complete his first lap. And at the line, 54.0, top of the board. 54.042 for Sean Corbett. not believe Michael Wingo's laps counted, either that or he's just now starting it. Anyway, Aubrey Thompson coming to the line, and Thompson's time, 5th quickest, 54.075, actually ties with Danny Barnes for 4th. All right, now you see Michael Wingo off of 4 to cut the apex, maybe. He will. Not very good, though. Just from my opinion, compared to see how guys have been able to cut it in times past. But at the line, Wingo, 11th. Richard Elliott slides into 3rd, ties with Kenneth McCullough. And with 5 seconds left, Sean Corbett on pole tonight. Ooh, buddy, we're going to have us a race. 19 cars on hand. Let's see if we can't go ahead and talk to driver 45. Sean Corbett, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy? Try this one more time here. Sean Corbett.
You what?
There you are. Sean Corbett.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not a whole lot, buddy. Got to be sitting pretty. First pole that's been on this broadcast that Case Sprinkle has not claimed in a while, so it must be good to be able to finally claim the front row here. But buddy has been still looking.
Man, first place ain't nothing but a bullseye on my back. These guys are gonna run me over like, I don't know, probably about lap 5.
I was going to ask. It seems like everything that you try to do to get back to victory lane here seems to always end up being involved in a wreck. So what's the plan tonight, or is it pretty much just go out and see
I don't know.
happens?
Email, I guess, the top 10 guys, $100 each. Tell them to leave me alone. Maybe that'll work. No, I'm just gonna, play smart. This, what do we got? 42 laps.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just gonna and do like everything else. Just ride, see what happens.
All right, buddy. Well, hopefully we can talk to you at the end of this thing. Best of luck to you tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, man.
Yes, sir. Sean Corbett rolling off from the pole. As I just mentioned, it's been a rough last couple of months for Sean Corbett. Go through the starting grid. Brought to you by HGR. Understand the logo's a little small. Got to work on that throughout the week. So Sean Corbett on pole. Kenneth McCullough Jr. second. Richard Elliott third. John Ward fourth. Danny Barnes fifth. Aubrey Thompson sixth. Quentin Stambach, Stephen Scott Jr. 7th and 8th. James Waring, Michael Barksdale 9th and 10th. Tucker McLennan and Michael Wingo. That is the fast 12. On down through the field, Jason Branch, Jackson Buys, Kevin Tempton. They'll run out top 15. Ambrose Knievel, Justin Johnson, and Mark Von Dell. 16th, 17th, 18th, and run out the field, Carl Lingle in the 19th spot. Well, pretty stacked field tonight. Of course, the notable mentions: Garrett Caswell, Casey Sprinkle, just to name a few, not here tonight. Hope to see them on the next broadcast. However, some familiar faces do return. Justin Johnson returns tonight. Obviously, the 00 Tucker. Kevin Tempton. Aubrey Thompson. Danny Barnes right there side by side. But anyways, Coming to it. 42 laps on hand tonight. Sean Corbett, Kenneth McCullough Jr. brings them down to the United Rentals restart zone. 42 laps. We're underway. Very much side by side, dead heat entering turn 3. Still side by side. Corbett holding that bottom throttle, so it's Kevin McCullough holding that middle lane with John Ward pushing Corbett up to block the outside lane. We'll notice that'll get the better run as we come by to complete lap 1. Richard Elliott looking to the bottom through the tri-oval at the line. Too close to call. John Corbett only by inches. Down the back straightaway now. Corbett still holding that outside lane. You got to believe that's what he wanted. You don't really, you only want to cover the bottom on entry for what it seemed like. Then you want to cover the outside on exit. Meanwhile, outside lane not really connected all that good, but then again, the same can be said for the bottom lane. Just depends on where you're running. But pretty much the lanes are even car-wise. You see McCullough now trying to bring that outside lane back up, getting pushed from Ward, Thompson, Scott Jr., just name a few up there in that outside lane. Corbett will lead the second lap. Right now, Mark Vondell, fastest lap to start this race at a 50.0 or a 50.081. Vondell running back there in the 14th spot. As we stand there, you get a good look at that number 59 McCullough Racing Chevy Camaro. Meanwhile, back at the front, Corbett continues to lead, covering Richard Elliott on the bottom at the moment. The outside lane kind of slips back just a little bit more on entry. And throughout the corners, probably what allows Corbett to really be able to get up there and control both lanes. And right now, with 39 to go, side by side. Of course, last night, what a race it was last night. Had a few cautions, but in the end, great finish. Jackson Byes looking to go 2 in a row, as a matter of fact. After winning last night, Byes right now, you see him. That Subway number 19 right now running 17th at the moment. Right now, you see top 18 separated by less than a second. Mark Vondell apparently out of the race, possibly with internet connection issues. So a tough break for the 59 of Vondell. Right now, Corbett still controlling both lanes. Here comes Richard Elliott to the bottom with Danny Burns and Quentin Stanbach. But Corbett right now knows he's just trying to conserve both lanes, trying to keep the lead the best he can. He's actually, hopefully, he's going to get the run off of 4 and be able to clear Richard Elliott. Meanwhile, off of 4, Corbett does slip back just a little bit, trying to get the run through the tri-oval. And at the line, give it to Richard Elliott. Leads his first laps of the race tonight officially. But right now, nobody's really trying to push. Nobody's really feels like there's no urgency to push. Mark Vondell returning back to the racetrack 2 laps down, so some cautions will be needed for the driver to 59 to get back into the race as Michael Wingo trying to make the third lane come alive. Richard Elliott jumps up to the middle lane. It's going to open the bottom for Danny Barnes. Clinton Stenbach trying to push Barnes up there. Stenbach, like I said, up and down night last night in the Gen 6 race for HGR. Right now, still anybody's race, 36 to go. Really, with these cars, the Gen 6 cars vary. What you saw last night, they were wild. They could make big runs happen. See some drivers trying to fan out, potentially thinking about making that third lane work. Haven't really thought about it yet. But you see a lot of drivers pretty much just taking it easy right now. They need to push. You cannot generate the runs with these Xfinity cars like you can a Gen 6. So you can't really, like, completely different package, completely different car, really. So right now it's pretty much what you see in the trucks. Ride around a little bit, get to the first green flag pit stop. Hopefully there's not an early caution. And pretty much everybody just ride for the moment. Danny Barnes out front momentarily. You're going to see probably Richard Elliott get a great run down the back straightaway. There it is. We're actually side by side. There's the run. Right now, Elliott able to get clear, drop back down to the bottom. Now Sean Corbett gets another chance to try to put an outside lane. Even with a potential trying to get clear, as right now Richard Elliott's led 3 laps already tonight. Corbett has led 4 with 35 to go. And at the line, the outside lane not able to really get back to the front. Well, open my mouth too soon. Corbett barely leaves at the line. Tucker. See Tucker now really trying to get a third lane to work. Michael Wingo and Tucker immediately bails on it, wanting to get clear of Michael Wingo. You look back there, he's going to do the same. He's going to try to bail on that idea. Well, quickly as I said, bail on it, they go right back to it. Right on board with Michael Wingo. Right now, John Ward's actually jumped up in front of the 00 of Tucker to really try to pull this lane up. Ward really one of them trying to get a win here in HGR. Right now, really 4 cars try to fend off. Ward immediately jumps back down to the middle lane. Well, I imagine he thought it probably weren't going to go nowhere, but there's still 3 by 3. The side draft to get heavy. Tucker will slide right in behind John Ward. Pretty much leaves Wingo and Steven Scott Jr. up there to fend for themselves. But right now, Richard Elliott still leads here at Talladega. Biggest movers of the race since the start of it. Ambrose Kaniva up 5 spots. Danny Barnes, James Waring, Kevin Tipton up 3. Richard Elliott, Michael Barksdale, Tucker McGowan, and Carl Lingle all up 2. So really, it might have been a little bit too early to do the biggest movers of the race. But you see drivers who are actually trying to get up there to the front on the move right now. Knievel started back in the 17th, 16th spot. He's already up to 7th and 9th at the moment. Well, some drivers just don't want to waste around. There's a lot of drivers, they don't really care to ride in the back. And you're pretty much seeing them now. Danny Barnes, Quentin Stenbach up at the front. Richard Elliott, Sean Corbett, Kenneth McCullough. Now 11 laps since the green, no caution. We know that the trucks can probably go about anywhere from 18 to 19 laps. It's uncertain how far the Xfinity cars can go, but I got a feeling some drivers here the next 2 or 3, maybe even 4 laps, possibly going to be considering green flag pit stops here. It's just a matter of when. Right now at the line, Sean Corbett trying to get back to the front. Elliott would have pushed for Burns, not able to really allow it. That's what we're going for with Danny Boy. We'll see what he looks like right now. I saw the request from earlier. Right now, you're right on board to go again with Danny Burns. Of course, and he's not at the front, but you get a good picture of really, if this was another scenario and they're deep in the pack, you see how tricky it is just for the gyro kid to see in front. Now imagine what he sees. The only thing he can see is Corbett's front bumper or Richard Elliott's back bumper. And pretty much, when there's a wreck and you're that close, I mean, there's really nothing you can do. You can only hope and pray that the car in front of you gets taken out, but you still make it through, because you're not going to have a reaction time. You'll see the smoke. That's about it. By the time you see the smoke, you're already pretty much in the wreck as it is. We're having an actual spotter really matter. They see Burns speaks down the back straightaway, looking at the lap car of Martin Vondell. Yeah. Vondell 2 laps down after possible connection issues. Took him out early. Trying to make it 2 laps. 3 wide. John Ward wants to lead. Vondell down to the apron. And at the line, giving it to Corbett. Barely. John Corbett's led 6 laps so far tonight. Richard Elliott holds the most laps led at this point with 8. With 28 to go. 3x3. Drivers not really wanting to conserve fuel right now. Some wanting to track position. Some just wanting to ride. Well, how about that third lane being able to really get formed up? Possibly trying to pull while Wingo jumped out of the line and then got right back in it. Still side drafted hard off the 5 of Kevin Tipton now. Seeing a middle and third lane really lost throughout that whole corner. Is the trend that we're seeing a lot. The more this race goes on at the line, Corbett will lead his 7th lap. And here comes the middle of the outside lane with another run, able to get right up next to Corbett. Pretty much if you're John Ward, you're thinking, well, what do I got to do just to get a great run down the back straightaway? Try to clear. Kenneth McCullough thinking the same thing. Both getting pushed by Aubrey Thompson and Tucker McLean. Really kind of surprised me, John Ward up here in the front. Normally Ward will ride in the back of the pack for the majority of this race and then slowly make himself known up there at the front. But right now, Ward sitting right now in the 3rd spot as they run at the line. Oh, McCullough gets turned! Corbett gets turned! Wingo, Ward, Danny Barnes is collected in it. Stanbach and Wingo going to the apron. Danny Barnes with a meatball flag. It's going to be a 1 fast repair required, and is only fast repair. As far as green flag pit stops go, I don't think we're going to have to worry about them for another stint here. We saw Kenneth McCullough get turned. We're going to see what happened from the far chase cam first. Of course, it's coming through the tri-oval. So right here, 00 Tucker all over the back of the 03. Just one push too many, dancing around his back bumper a little bit, and massive damage for several cars. Michael Wingo took the biggest hit. Danny Burns pretty much just got the meat and sandwich. See if we can't right on board. So right here, you're looking at the motor, which is telling you that he's getting pushed. Got a 00 right there. With McCullough, nothing he can do. Makes it through there kind of unscathed. Obviously damage to that 03. See if we can't get a couple more onboards here. Go on board with Danny Burns through this, through the nose cam. Pretty much like we just said, Barnes. Now, he doesn't even know until he's right there in it. And keeps it straight, but at what cost? See, right front's broke. Car will not turn. And this really helps out Mark Mondell get one of his laps back. Go on board Michael Wingo. A little bit too early. Pretty sure I could back up faster. There we go. Of course, Wingo's going to get a great shot at this. There's the contact. He's going to try to stay through the middle. Just does get turned. Massive damage into John Ward. Nathaniel Ward will be fine. That, as far as the steering angle goes on the 25, very questionable. Sean Corbett actually got lucky. He made it through it better than what most did. Michael Barksdale wins the race off of pit road, as I believe he's one of the few that does not have damage from that wreck. Then we can get a word with a couple drivers here. Michael Wingo, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Garrett.
Well, buddy, damn, almost had it made. What'd you feel like for your POV? What'd you feel like happened up there right in front of you?
I think Double O got into Kenny a little bit too much. Turned him side, hooked him a little bit. He said he had been pushing him the same way the whole time, so I don't know if maybe his tires got a little wear on them.
Hard to say. Well, a lot of drivers do. A lot of drivers do point out pushing through the tri-oval being extremely dangerous, very risky. But I want to ask you, why is that exactly? What makes the tri-oval the most dangerous spot to push somebody?
Well, you're kind of going out of it's a weird angle when you're going through it, so it's kind of hard to hit them square in the tri-oval. So you may hit them at an offset a little bit, and it'll spin them every time.
Well, right. Well, we're real fast before I drive back down. I know we're going to the winter green here. I do appreciate the slick paint job that you got. Let's see if I can't get it. See if I can.
I was hoping you seen that.
Yeah, I seen it, buddy. Yeah, that's a very angry Smurf at the front of your car, buddy. But it looks great. Appreciate the shout out.
You got it, buddy. Hopefully we can get it to victory lane.
Hopefully so. That'll be one of the best interviews I ever do. All right,
buddy.
I'm about to drop you back down. Best of luck. Hopefully we do talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Yes, sir. That was a nice tribute right there. I like that paint job a lot. Definitely not being biased. Several great paint jobs. Matter of fact, Carl Engel, outside lane, front row, yellow and silver. I dig that. I'm a sucker for a good paint job. The re-rack after pit stops in the caution. Carl Lingle up 17 spots. Michael Barksdale 9. Everest can able to continue his run up to the top plus 10. Of course, one driver really trying to make it 2 in a row would be Jackson Byes. He was able to get through that scrap. Right now he'll be restarting in the 5th position. But to re-rack it, the top 5 at least: Michael Barksdale, Carl Lingle, Richard Elliott, Jason Branch, and Jackson Byes. That's your top 5. Ambrose Knievel in 6th, Quentin Stanbach 7th, Kevin Tipton 8th, John Ward 9th, and Sean Corbett rounds out the top 10. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going back to re-rack it here. 22 laps to go when they take the green. Massive mix-up from what you just saw before the caution. Barksdale with a great jump. Maybe too big of a jump. Here comes the run. Richard Elliott clear for a moment. We'll see if he takes the outside lane. He might choose just to stay right behind the 98 of Barksdale. Well, really, the outside lane deteriorated as they go down the back straightaway. Kenneth McCullough and Stephen Scott Jr. trying to get up there. Corbett making a move. He'll squeeze in right behind Quentin Stanbach. Just mentioned how John Ward was happening. Apparently the 92 has either lagged out or had to disconnect. Second car tonight that's done that. Well, an unfortunate night for John Ward at the moment. I mean, he's been gone for almost a whole lap now, so it's definitely not a lagging issue. I believe it actually just lagged out of the session. So the hopes for John Ward to go to victory lane tonight for the moment just got very slim. Danny Barnes 1 lap down after having to get a tow back to the pits. Use his fast repair. Barnes not out of this. Bart Mondale is back on the lead lap. As here comes Carl Lingle on the outside lane with a push from Amos Knievel. It really is pretty much drivers who you don't see at the front all that much up until the end of the race. Or really hardly ever. Barksdale and Lingle both making their return tonight for the Racing Idiot Racing Network. And Carl Lingle leads his first laps officially. 98 of Michael Barksdale as well. One of them really trying to make side. Quentin Stanbach goes straight to the middle with Kenneth McCullough Jr. Stephen Scott Jr. as well, but that middle lane does not have the cars it needs to really formulate a good run at the moment. Yeah, but what you see Tucker already dropping down to the middle line. Eventually the outside lane will probably just migrate down. It's going to pull that middle lane right back up to the front runners, but right now, pretty much the top 4 single file as they run, so a lot of drivers can make a lot of moves. You see Richard Elliott ducks out of line, thought about it, and blends right back in. See what I just mentioned about that middle lane coming right back up to the middle right now. They're up to the 4th car. That would be Jason Branch making his debut for the Raging Idiot Racing Network tonight. $19 to go. Massive separation now. Pretty much both the top 2 lanes deteriorated about as fast as what they could go. But Kenneth McCullough and Aubrey Thompson working that 3rd lane, trying to make something happen. So McCullough and Thompson both were at the front before that caution came out. Of course, McCullough was the one that got turned. So both of them trying to regain all the ground they have, and at the line, Kenneth McCullough will lead his second lap of the race only by a couple inches. John Ward back on track, 3 laps down, 92 just returning back out. So potentially with Danny Barnes 1 lap down, the night is done for John Ward as far as victory lane goes. And Michael Barksdale continues to lead that bottom line, getting a great push for Richard Elliott. Heath, buddy, how you doing tonight? I see you in the comments section. How you doing tonight? You see right now, pretty much everybody migrating down to the bottom. Potentially green flag, the first green flag pit stop of the night could be looming up just over the horizon. We'll have to wait and see with 17 to go, but and I believe some of these drivers, they came back in, topped off with fuel. That's your pull it pit strategy link. You'll see it right here. Drivers in the back. McClellan, Johnson, Waring, Vondale, they all probably came in on the 1 to green, try to top off with fuel, but now we're going to get rid of this. We're going to focus in. Oh, Barksdale gives it to McCullough again. There they go. Ah, that's taking out the rest of them. Ambrose Knievel through the grass, kills McCullough against the outside wall, rolling back down the track. Jason Branch, Danny Barnes is in it. Massive damage to the front end of Kenneth McCullough. 0-3. Ambrose Knievel immediately toes back to the pits. He knows that it's probably a bit terminal. Not much damage to the 28 that we can see. And it's all going to start, it really starts, I believe Barksdale pinches the 30 of Carl Lingle. McCullough, an innocent bystander, will have to look here before I say too much. Right here, coming off of 4. Well, just about to say, Barksdale has a very difficult task trying to block all 3 lanes. Lingle looks out, oh. Well, did the 30 come down? Well, let's look at here in the slow motion. 30 looks out. Barksdale tries to go back down to the bottom. Yeah, potentially the 30 does come down. Unfortunately, McCullough's the innocent bystander in all this. And he'll come right back down into Ambrose Knievel. Sean Corbett, Kevin Tipton getting a piece of it. Corbett dead sideways, quitting standby, turning him. But Tucker right through the middle. Whoo! But look at it. Michael Wingo getting a tap. Justin Johnson up there at the top of the screen. Barely getting through. I believe Tucker does get through. We're right on board with the 00. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. That should go on board the cockpit. It'll give us probably the best look of this whole wreck. We'll rewind it a little bit more. There we go. We're right on board with the 00. There's the contact boom, the C's almost part. Other than going through the grass and dirt tracking it. And that 00 is going to come out pretty unscathed. Same, however, cannot be said for the 04 of Ambrose Knievel. We're right on board with him. Contact. Just getting slammed. Nothing really the 04 could do, but I mean, he just got completely killed. Kenneth McCullough's on board through this. Been a rough night for the 03. We're probably going to get the best look at it here, more than likely. You see right there the contact. McCullough just nowhere to go. Right on through. See if we can't get Ambrose in here. Ambrose Knievel, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, yeah. Hello, Mr. Jim Bob.
What's up, buddy? Well, honestly, pretty much I know my heart rate isn't up as big as yours right now. Did you see the wreck coming, and did you feel like maybe y'all would make it through that before getting slammed by the 03 of McCullough? What was your take on things?
No, I knew I was dead from the moment it started. There was no way where I was positioned that I was going to get out of that. Just the way the cars were moving, I knew I was dead.
Well, buddy,
It's not Kenny's fault. It's just he's a victim too. So, you know.
yeah, we saw maybe the 30 maybe trying to side draft, unknown at the moment. We'll have to see, but had to take the fast repair. So I'll ask you one more question before I let you go back to green here. With that fast repair being took, how does this affect how you run this race from here on out with 14 to go?
I got a body hammer right here in the passenger seat. I will bang the fenders out as we go.
All right, buddy. Well,
I am not going to lift.
All right, buddy. Well, hopefully we see you back at the end of this thing. Hopefully we can interview you afterwards. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Damn sledgehammer in the passenger seat. You want somebody that's got a lot of personality, you can. Ambrose Knievel, one of them. To re-rack the top 5 here, Carl Lingo in first, Richard Elliott second, Jackson Byes third, Stephen Scott Jr. fourth, Aubrey Thompson in the 5th spot. John Ward is back on the lead lap. Danny Barnes still trapped 1 lap down after getting involved in that melee again. I reckon they're just letting them right on around, get their laps back. Hard to say. Not in the booth, so I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it, but regardless, 13 to go. When they take the green flag, Carl Lingle out front, Richard Elliott out front. Elliott still holds the most laps led at this point. We're rolling. John Ward black flag. Just got back on the lead lap. Unsure why, but possible restart zone violation or something along them lines. Well, actually, it got cleared, so right now, John Ward's still in this race for a moment. We'll have to see if he'll pit this time. Looking at 92 as right now, Carl Lingle still leads for the moment. So if Ward stays out here, then we'll know that he does not show that black flag, and he will. So Breeze joined at the front with Richard Elliott's trying to get the lead from Carl Lingle, and at the line, giving to Richard Elliott. A great push for the 19 to a 000. Jackson Byes trying to make something happen and go 2 in a row. That Subway car on point. Really has been lingering outside the top 5 the majority of the night. It started in the back, but after these first 2 cautions, worked himself up. At the inside the top 10, you see drivers 3 wide trying to make something happen. 12 to go. Well, a lot of drivers did not pit. As a matter of fact, the top 7 did not pit under this last caution. Ironically, though, 10th on down did pit all the way down to Barksdale. Well, most of them probably had damage at some point, but regardless, 11 to go, and Elliott's leading his 10th lap of the race. So not over with yet, but it's never too early to put in your race winner predictions, or hell, even just shout out your favorite driver, let them know you're watching. But down back straightaway, Elliott went up to block the 19. Lingle was able to come back to the bottom with Stephen Scott Jr. pushing him. Aubrey Thompson, Red Bull and WeatherTech duo in line right behind the 30. That's quick stand by coming trying to make something happen with Michael Barksdale. They'll fade back in. Kenneth McCullough still no quitting this 03. Had to use his only fast repair though. But McCullough not out of it yet. And James Waring having a quiet night, 4th car in line on the outside lane. Pretty much Danny Barnes still the only car 1 lap down. 18 drivers still have a shot at it, and all with just under a second of each other. Well, eventually tend to go. Winner of the hat's gonna come off. More take, no more giving. Over here, see Elliott now doing exactly what Corbett was doing earlier, trying to utilize the lane control to the best of his ability. He knows that the outside lane can get a run off the corner for more dominantly off of turn 2. So he wants to try to block the bottom on entry so they do not put him side by side, potentially get put 3 wide or moved up the track. Here comes Jackson Byes with a run to the inside or the outside. And right there, you see Elliott right back up the cover. He knows that the outside lane, here's where the run's coming. He wants to block that run, but here comes McCullough and Corbett up the outside. Third line trying to make something happen with McCullough and Corbett. Corbett started on pole, really wants to earn a little bit of extra money this week. Right now, you're about to see just 3 wide over and over again. The only issue is now the pushes are going to become more frequent. Now drivers are going to start getting desperate. They know that they got to make some moves. McCullough out, leading only barely, but at the line. Carl Lingle, but not by much. 8 to go and 3 by 3 by 3 again. Lingle out front for a moment. Well, right here, this is the difficult part. Trying to defend 3 lanes. Most of the time, the driver's going to stick with the bottom, potentially move up to the middle. It's really going to be hard to see McCullough clear for the moment as he drops down to the first floor. He does not. He'll stay in that 3rd lane for the moment, down to the middle, all the way down back to the first floor. Yes, McCullough refusing to go away tonight. Waring hard into the wall. James Waring, not again. The bad luck continues for the 13. Well, the car is broke, you see it will not turn at all, no matter how hard he tries. Massive, massive impact. Has to tow back to the pit, so more likely race is done for Waring, unless he gets back on the lead lap. What in the world happened? Well, let's take a look at it and see. Right here, 3 wide. Driver's already getting desperate. They know that now's the time to make. Comes down onto the 19 and just, he almost had it saved, but Kevin Tipton involved. You still believe that was Jason Branch getting a piece of that. Saw an incident similar to this last night, I believe. Right there, 45 comes down. I think Waring comes down on instant. Hard to say what happened, but regardless, 13 comes down into the 19. Let's just ride on board and see what he sees. He almost had it made, almost had it saved it. When it finally bit right at the end, you hear the engine go kablooey. We're on board with Jonathan Birch through this. Jonathan Branch, I should say, sorry. Thinks he's got it saved. He actually gets hit in the back and then right into the wall. Kevin Tipton gets slammed up in there as well. Jason Branch, Gary Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
I don't know what the heck that was in the background, but we ain't gonna worry about it. But, buddy, man, you've had several close calls tonight. Did you, from your perspective, what did you see whenever the 13 came down across the 19?
Well, I mean, I saw the 13 come down across the 19, and he did a real slow slide. So I had lifted to kind of see if he was going to be able to gather it up, and felt like I got rammed into from the back, and from then it was just chaos.
Well, buddy, with 6 to go and starting in the back, already having to use your fast repair already, do you feel like the 28 can get back up there to the front?
We're going to try our darndest there.
Buddy, best. Go ahead.
I don't got no help back here, but we're going to play it by ear. We're going to see what we do. It seems like that third lane just doesn't go unless you get about 4 cars in it. So we'll play it by ear. We'll see what goes on. Maybe they'll all wreck up there, and I'll get up there.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you. Look forward to seeing it. So a lot of work for Jason Branch making his debut. The Raging Idiot Racing Network, I believe. We can't get Carl Lingle in here for a booth moment. Carl Lingle, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, it's been a bad fast number 30 right from the get-go up there at the front. What do you feel like it's going to take to try to get the job done tonight?
Well, maybe possibly a little bit of luck.
Only look.
I gotta say, my Home Depot pit crew did the job, got me up front, so see if we can hold it.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you. We look forward to watching. I'll go ahead and drop it back down, being we're about to go 1 to green here.
Yeah, they better do good, because if not, I'm gonna call ice on them.
Oh, boy. All right, buddy.
Have a good one, brother.
Yes, sir. Man, we got some. What up, Daniel? How you doing tonight? Going to re-rack the top 5 as they stand. Kenneth McCullough Jr. first, Carl Lingle second, Richard Elliott led the most laps tonight in third, Stephen Scott Jr. fourth, Sean Corbett starting on pole, got involved in a couple incidents, but he has worked himself back up into a paying position. But, well, hell, we know anything. Yeah, you can get into a paying position, but a lot of these guys want to win. Mark Von Dell restarting 8th, went 2 laps down after an internet issue. Well, that's what we're presuming anyway. Sitting right outside the top 5 in 8th with a shot at it. 4 laps to go. Kenneth McCullough, Carl Lingle brings them down. And we are back running. Well, see Jackson Byes trotting all the way to the back. Looks like the quest for 2 in a row will not come to fruition tonight. Kenneth McCullough Jr. is wanting that a night where he has had to fight to be in this position where he's at. And Richard Elliott's dominated the most of this race if you look at the lap sled category. Meanwhile, outside lane, a little bit of a run. Looks like maybe side by side for second. But outside, that middle line, outside lane, whatever you want to call it right now, you know it's going to go to the middle whenever they get 3 wide like they are right now. But that middle line does not be able to run until probably a lap after the restart. So with 3 to go, Carl Lingle in the best spot possible. Think about this, can Kenneth McCullough block 2 lanes? And if they make it up there with that 3rd lane, will they be able to block 3? Well, Lingle out front for him. A great push from Stephen Scott Jr., but not enough to get clear. Well, right on board with Lingle here. We're going to see how does the run really work out here. Really not the best, but you see, and that's really what you don't want to see. If you're that outside lane, the moment you're clear, you want to drop down to the bottom as soon as you can. Tucker McCullough now, or Tucker McClellan now, trying to get up there. Aubrey Thompson just up in front of him. That's WeatherTech 38, trying to make a charge. John Ward almost pitched to 59. Ward another one down, trying to rebound after internet issues all night tonight. 2 to go. They make it back to the white flag. It does not matter what happens. You see Tucker a little bit loose off of 2, keeps it straight. 3 by 3 for the lead at the line. Carl Lingle, well, not at the line, but down the back straightaway. Carl Lingle out in front for the moment. They won't never make it back. Getting too close here. If they do, they won't never make it back without wrecking to the checker, that is. They might make it off of 4 here. We'll have to see. McCullough out front. They're getting squirmy here, but it does not matter. White flag in the air. This race is official no matter what happens. My God, they're 4 wide mid-pack. 4 wide, nobody giving an inch. How about Jason Branch getting shoved all the way to the back? Right now, if you're Carl Lingle, you're telling Steven, hey, push me. I don't care how hard, but just push me. Down the back straight away. Still contact. Aubrey Thompson to the outside in that 3rd lane. Thompson down to cover the middle. Leo getting pushed all the way back. Aubrey Thompson have anything for the other 3. Does Tucker have anything for both of them? Off of turn 4 now. Coming through the tri-oval. Get the photo finish. Cameras ready, folks. Going to be big. Tucker, they're wrecking at the line. Thompson gets turned. Kim McCullough will win at Talladega. Jackson Buys involved in that last lap scrap. Aubrey Thompson's junk. Quentin stand by. You saw him. Kev McCullough able to get the job done. Well, Kenneth had a fight for this one. It was no easy feat. See if he's in the disco. We'll wait momentarily. Aubrey Thompson so close, but yet so far. Gets turned in the middle, and we'll see. See if Kenneth wants to burn it down. But Kenneth McCullough knows. There finally went the motor. Kenneth McCullough knows he had to work for this one tonight. Go ahead and do top 3 interviews. Well, Tucker's not in the Discord at the moment. We'll get Carl Lingle in here.
Uh-oh.
Carl Lingle, buddy. Yeah, uh-oh's right. Well, buddy, looked like you had it done all the way up until the last lap. Was there anything you felt like you could have done, or when Aubrey pretty much came down, it was game over?
Well, I just figured, hey, he's there, just push him. But it got pretty crazy there at the end.
Oh, yes, it did. It got very crazy at the end.
All I know is I had cars hitting me on one side, then the other, and just trying to keep it straight and keep it pointed towards the finish line.
But it was a crazy race to say the least. I do want to ask, did you feel like that was pretty much a calm race at some points? Did you feel like maybe it was a little getting out of hand? What was your take just on the night, the racing as it was, and ultimately, does the finish fit the reward for a hell of a race that you drove tonight?
Oh, it does. I mean, it was a good race. It's you get the little missteps when you go from different vehicles every race. So, you know what I mean? It seems to be a pattern no matter where you race.
Yes, sir, buddy. Well, first off, I believe this is the first time I've interviewed you. If I can get the words out, I ain't been able to talk all day. But so, what I like to do, understand people's got friends, family, sponsors, etc. watching. So, if there's anybody wanting to shout out, buddy, the floor is yours.
You know, I got to give a shout out to Ambrose out there and the rest of the Blind Squirrels. Got to give a big shout out to Steven Scott there. He stuck with me a lot of the race and gave me some nice pushes, and I really appreciate that.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations. As a matter of fact, it's showing you fourth. On one screen, it's showing you third. On another screen, it's showing you fourth. So we'll have to see what the unofficial is. But right now, I got you showing as fourth. So, but either way, take a little bit of extra money in your pocket throughout the rest of the week, and look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, I'm looking at the official results for iRacing. It's showing third.
Well then, let me make one little adjustment. There you go, fixed. But all right, buddy. Well, congratulations on a third place finish tonight. Look forward to seeing you again.
Sturgeon, Bob, you have a good one, brother.
You too, buddy. That being said, we'll go ahead and get Tucker in here, and then we're going to get Kenneth in here. Kenneth actually disappeared for the moment. So we'll go ahead and pull Tucker in here. Tucker, Gary Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, buddy, P2 not the way you wanted after what was for you and several others a wild race at the end. Did you feel like that there was something you could have done different, or were you pretty much stuck in the third lane till they wrecked?
Yeah, I was stuck in the third lane. That third lane, the track was a little too cool. That third lane really wasn't going, and so luckily I had Clinton and Jackson behind me, and it really took Jackson pushing through Clinton, and at the end you just kind of saw it, what's going to happen every single time you do that. So just hard racing. I feel bad for some of those guys like Aubrey and them, but most of these races will have a wreck on the last lap, but it was a overall pretty good race. I made it through most of the wrecks. I didn't get any damage at all. I made one that right at the beginning of the tri-oval. I don't know how I made it through that, but I did.
Oh,
and,
dude,
I'll take a P2 all night.
Well, buddy, you'll really love the replays that we got on it. But ultimately, it was an up and down night for you, to say the least, from the back to the front, from the front to the back, over and over and over. Do you feel, how difficult is it to come from the back to the front with these cars and the kind of package that these Xfinity cars come with?
Yeah, I like the Infinity cars, but they are pretty hard. You can't do it like the Gen 6 or kind of what old school next gen used to be, or even ARCA. You can't, make those huge runs and, pick up, 10 spots in a lap. It's pretty hard. But you got to be what I like about it is you got to be really smart. You can't really make the big moves and all that stuff. But it is hard, especially when you have a cool track and that third lane's just not going, like we would all like it to.
Yes, sir, buddy. Daniel Earnhardt says, "Go Dogs." Wanted me to tell you that.
Yeah, tell Daniel that they're. Well, Daniel, y'all are coming to Knoxville this year. We'll see how that ends for y'all. Probably not well for y'all. But go Vols. Always repping Tennessee on the car, the truck, whatever I'm driving. So.
Well, buddy, with that being said, is there anybody you want to thank or shout out tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc.?
No, just you for doing this, Jimmy for putting it on, Quentin and Jackson. I was working with them most of the night. I hate that it ended the way it ended for them, but sometimes that's just how it goes. So no, hope you have a good night.
All right, buddy. You too. No, I'm gonna try not to butcher this last name, but Tucker McClendon comes in second tonight.
Awesome, sounds good. Thanks, Jim Bob.
Yes, sir. Let's see if I can get Kenneth McCullough in here one time. So while we wait here, we'll see if we can't get, well, Casey might pop in. Don't want to be interviewing somebody when he pops in here. So we're going to go ahead and go through the finishing results for tonight for the High Gear Series. High Gear Racing Series. Kenneth McCullough Jr. comes out after having to really fight for the win tonight. He will come home the winner. Tucker McClendon comes in second. Carl Lingle third. Sean Corbett fourth. Steven Scott Jr. in the fifth spot. They'll run out the top five. Justin Johnson, a payout position tonight will come in at sixth. Kevin Tempton seventh. Ambrose Knievel eighth. Danny Barnes ninth. John Ward rounds out top 10. Michael Wingo, Jason Branch, Jackson Byes. The 2 in a row will not happen for Byes tonight. Mark Von Dale had a very up and down night, will not be the finish that he wanted. In 14th, Aubrey Thompson got turned through a tri-oval. Quentin Stanbach involved in that scrap on the last lap as well. Richard Elliott, Michael Barksdale rounds out the top 18. Just one more position up for grab. Oh, yeah. James Waring. Buddy, the bad luck streak continues for Waring. But one day he's going to turn it around. We'll be doing a winning interview. But for right now, James Waring has to round out the field in 19th. Let's see if we can't. Going to give Kenneth McCullough a little bit more time here. Going to get rid of results for a moment. We'll go back and look at his last lap melee. See what happens. We're just going to set off of turn 4 for the moment here. Run it one more time. So coming through the trial, everybody's really just trying to get every bit they can, every position, every thousandth of a second matters, and it looks like, kind of hard to say this, Jackson Byes getting to the back of the 22 prior to the 22 getting loose. Very well looks like a bump, but it's hard to really tell. Maybe skips across the back of the 22's bumper. I mean, really, it's the last lap. I mean, hard to say anything goes, but everybody's trying to make something happen. See Thompson, innocent bystander, much like the rest of the field. John Ward's night finally came to an end. Not mean that in no disrespect or nothing, but after a night Ward had, I mean, it's kind of fitting. Can't ride on board with a couple more drivers here. See what Quentin Stanbach saw from the roof cam. For the roof cam, the nose cam. Really can't see much of nothing, but there it finally gets turned. A massive lick into the wall. Richard Elliott, after leading so many laps tonight, the night will come undone. Well, there you see it. Well, actually, we'll take one more look. This will tell us if he's really getting pushed or not. There you see it. Push. Slides off the back bumper, just turns it. Again, Said massive damage. Right on board Audrey Thompson. We're in the roll bar. This is going to be vicious. Get right to it late. At that point, everybody's just all over the place. Nowhere to go. Ultimately, not how a lot of drivers wanted their night to end. It's just that one little push. Everybody trying to get everything they want out of it. Fortunately, it looks like Kenneth McCullough will not be available for an interview. Well, that being said, however, McCullough does come out. The winner will go through the results, or we'll post the results one more time. It's for everybody to see. McCullough comes out the victor night, but it had to really fight for it. It did not come in. McCullough involved in one or two of the first big wrecks. And it had to come from the back to the front more times than I think anybody willing to give him credit for. But at the end of the night, Kenneth McCullough survives the carnage. And as far as tomorrow night goes, still got some more intense racing to go through. The Crow's Nest Series will be making his debut, pretty much an affiliate sponsor or an affiliate organization to HGR. And it's just going to be one you're not going to miss. It's open to anybody, public lobby, for what I was told. You're not going to want to miss it on a Friday night. Until then, my name's Garrett Jenkins. Congratulations to Kenneth McCullough on getting the win tonight at HGR. He will look to go 2 in a row in the next HGR event. And until tomorrow, everybody have a good night. Thank you for watching. And expect more of the intense racing tomorrow night. Appreciate it, everybody.